Did you know that some everyday habits, ones that seem completely harmless, might actually be speeding up the aging process? The truth is, many of the behaviors we've come to rely on for comfort, efficiency, or even safety can slowly chip away at our well-being, mental clarity, and independence as we grow older. And because no one really talks about them, we often don't notice until the effects have already set in. Stiffness, fatigue, forgotten plans, or feelings of disappointment and embarrassment. In this video, we're going to explore 6 surprising habits you may want to reconsider after turning 70. Not because someone told you to, but because letting go of them could lead to a life that's more active, confident, and fulfilling. These aren't vague ideas or unrealistic goals. They're common routines many seniors fall into without even realizing it. Making small changes now could help you feel more like yourself again. Stick around until the end. You'll likely recognize a few of these patterns in your own life, and you'll walk away with simple, actionable strategies to help shift them. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to hit that button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on uplifting, practical content just like this. Now let's jump in. Habit number 1. Avoiding muscle-strengthening activity. One of the most common mistakes people make after 70 is assuming it's safer to slow down and minimize physical exertion. It sounds reasonable. Maybe your joints feel stiff, your balance isn't what it used to be, and lifting anything heavier than a grocery bag seems overwhelming. So, you ease off. You move less. You rest more, thinking it's a way to protect your body. But the truth is, avoiding strength-based movement is one of the fastest ways to lose your independence. When you stop using your muscles, they weaken. And after 70, this process, called sarcopenia, accelerates unless you actively work against it. That doesn't mean you need to hit the gym or train like an athlete. It just means keeping your muscles engaged. Simple resistance, like bodyweight exercises, light dumbbells, or resistance bands, can make a world of difference. The key is consistency and intention. Every time you get up from a chair without using your hands, carry a bag, or reach for something on a shelf, your muscles make that possible. Take Gilbert, for example. He's 82 and had stopped exercising after a minor fall left him nervous about overdoing it. He stuck to short walks and mostly stayed on the couch. But after meeting with a physical therapist, he learned that inactivity was actually doing more damage than movement ever could. He started small, just 5 minutes a day. Standing up from a chair without using his arms, lifting soup cans, and practicing balance by standing on one foot next to the kitchen counter. Within 2 months, his legs were stronger, and his confidence returned. There's something powerful about moving your body on purpose. It's not just about mobility, it's about dignity, self-respect, and the confidence that comes from knowing you can get out of bed, walk through a store without leaning on a cart, or get down on the floor to play with your grandkids, and back up again with ease. You don't need hours each day. Just a handful of basic movements, done consistently, can restore what time and inactivity have tried to wear away. What makes this issue tricky is that muscle loss is silent. It doesn't hurt, at least not at first. You notice it gradually. Maybe you're winded more easily, stairs feel steeper, or you catch yourself bracing on an armrest to stand up. The good news? It's never too late to turn things around, and you don't need expensive equipment or a gym membership to do it. What you do need is the mindset that maintaining strength matters more than taking it easy. Number 2, eating the way you did in your 40s. A common trap for many people over 70 is thinking they can stick to their old eating habits. Same portions, same meal schedules, same comfort foods repeated throughout the week. It feels routine, it feels comfortable, and for decades it may have worked well. But your body no longer runs on the same operating system it did 30 years ago. Your metabolism has slowed down, digestion may not be as smooth, and your nutritional requirements have shifted. Still, many people eat out of routine instead of actual hunger, and that quiet pattern can lead to weight gain, low energy, and creeping blood sugar issues. The reality is, once you're over 70, each meal counts more. You may not need as much food as before, but your body craves more of the right types, nutrient-dense, easy-to-digest foods that fuel your bones, brain, and stamina. That means dialing back on big portions of heavy meats, refined carbs, or processed snacks, and instead focusing on smaller, balanced meals filled with fiber-rich veggies, lean protein, healthy fats, and hydrating fruits. It's not about going hungry. It's about nourishing your body based on what it needs now, not what it needed decades ago. Let me share Scarlett's story. She's 75 and had never really put much thought into her eating habits, 3 generous meals a day, just as she'd always done. But over time, she began to notice a change. After dinner, she often felt bloated, her afternoon energy dipped, and her clothes didn't quite fit like before. Her doctor didn't lecture her. He simply suggested a new approach. Reduce portion sizes slightly, include more vegetables, and start paying attention to her body's signals of fullness. In less than a month, she didn't just lose a little weight. She felt more alert, her sleep improved, and she mentioned feeling more emotionally balanced in ways that surprised her. This isn't about going on a diet. It's about making gentle adjustments. Just like you wouldn't still wear shoes from your 30s, your eating habits need to evolve with your body too. With age comes experience, and that includes being wiser about what and how you eat. Eating a bit less isn't about denying yourself. It's about being smarter with what you give your body. It's about offering it what it truly needs while cutting out the excess that weighs you down. When your meals are mindful and well-balanced, your body begins to respond with increased energy, clearer thinking, and a more stable mood. And here's something that deserves more attention. It's completely okay to create new eating habits in this chapter of life. In fact, it's an act of self-care. You're not letting go of food enjoyment. You're building a healthier, more supportive relationship with it. You're learning what genuinely satisfies, what keeps you going, and what makes you feel your best. That kind of insight isn't just beneficial, it's empowering. If you're still watching and this message is resonating with you, leave a comment saying number 2 below. I'd love to know you're with us, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you never miss a video. Your encouragement helps us keep making helpful, thoughtful content just for you. Now, let's keep going. Number 3, withdrawing from social connection. After 70, it can be surprisingly easy to slip into isolation without fully realizing it. You might go out less, cancel plans more frequently, or convince yourself that staying home is more comfortable. Sometimes it's due to physical challenges. Other times it's emotional. You might feel like you have little to offer these days, or maybe people don't check in like they once did, so you slowly pull back. You tell yourself the quiet is nice, that you're content, but the reality is that social isolation can have serious effects on your health. Loneliness isn't just an emotion, it's a genuine health concern. Research has found that a lack of connection in older adults can contribute to depression, memory issues, and even a greater chance of heart-related problems. The brain flourishes through connection, And when those regular interactions fade, the mind tends to turn inward, often in ways that aren't helpful. Casual chats, shared laughter, even a brief phone call. These are like workouts for your brain. They keep you mentally alert, emotionally balanced, and most importantly, they reinforce your sense of worth. Let me introduce you to Sylvia. She's 80 and gradually distanced herself from her social circle after her husband passed. At first, she believed she just needed space, but what began as a few months soon stretched into years. Her mind felt cloudy, her days began to blur, and her motivation declined. Her daughter gently nudged her to try a weekly senior yoga class, just as a change of pace. Sylvia was reluctant, but she went. And what truly surprised her wasn't the physical activity, it was the connection. Laughing before class, chatting afterward about their week. It brought a sense of joy and vibrancy back into her world. She hadn't realized just how much she'd missed being around people. Now, this doesn't mean you need to sign up for multiple groups or attend loud social events. It simply means finding little ways to stay in touch. A standing phone call with a friend, a walk around the block with a neighbor, a community group at church, or even an online interest group. These small moments of connection work like emotional nutrients. They lift your spirit and remind you that you're not walking this journey alone. And the more connected you are, the stronger and more balanced your mind and body become. What makes this tricky is that isolation can feel safe. It's quiet, familiar. But there's a difference between enjoying your own company and slowly disconnecting from the world. One replenishes you, the other slowly depletes your energy. You have so much to offer: your stories, your kindness, your sense of humor, and others are enriched just by your presence, even if you don't always see it. When you reach out, it's not just for your benefit. It's also a quiet reminder to someone else that they're not alone either. Number 4, brushing off minor health issues. One of the most risky patterns that can develop after 70 is ignoring small physical symptoms simply because they seem unimportant or familiar. A bit of lightheadedness, some mild chest pressure, or just feeling more tired than usual in the afternoon. You may chalk it up to aging. You don't want to make a fuss, don't want to worry anyone, and honestly, you're tired of visiting doctors. So you say nothing. But dismissing these subtle signs can have serious consequences, especially later in life, when early detection is key to preventing bigger problems. As we age, the body becomes more fragile, but it also becomes more communicative, if we're paying attention. Symptoms you once brushed off can now carry greater weight. That bit of swelling in your ankles could be your heart sending a warning. Occasional forgetfulness might not just be a harmless lapse. It could be an early indicator of something more serious. And the more time that passes, the harder it becomes to treat, manage, or turn things around. Catching potential issues early doesn't make you anxious. It makes you smart. It gives you choices and a sense of control. Two things that are truly worth holding on to. Let me tell you about Walter. He's 78 and had always seen himself as resilient. He avoided doctors whenever he could and rarely worried unless something truly hurt. But eventually, he noticed his vision was getting fuzzier and a tingling sensation started in his feet. He dismissed it as normal aging. It wasn't until his daughter urged him to get checked that he discovered he had early-stage diabetes. Because they caught it in time, he was able to manage it with changes in diet and exercise. But his doctor didn't sugarcoat it. If he delayed much longer, it might have progressed beyond control. You are the most tuned-in expert on your own body. When something feels off, unfamiliar, or unusual, you have every right to take it seriously. Not out of fear, but out of responsibility. Not all health concerns arrive with blaring alarms. Some creep in quietly, and as we get older, paying attention to those quiet signals becomes even more crucial. Acting early can lead to faster healing, fewer medications, and a better quality of life overall. That also means trusting your instincts. If you feel like a medical professional isn't listening or taking you seriously, you're absolutely entitled to ask more questions, get another opinion, and advocate for your well-being. You've spent a lifetime caring for others. Now it's time to extend that same attention to yourself. No one else lives inside your body. No one else knows what it feels like from your point of view. So when something feels off, don't stay silent. If you're still watching this and you found this message helpful, drop a number 4 in the comments to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to do it. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Your support helps us keep making content that matters. Now let's continue. Number 5. Depending on memory. Instead of writing things down after 70, one of the most overlooked habits is relying too heavily on memory. Maybe you've always remembered birthdays, appointments, and medications without needing reminders, and for most of your life, that worked just fine. So you keep at it, running through your schedule mentally, reminding yourself to make a call later, or tracking your pills without writing anything down. But here's the subtle risk. Memory doesn't work quite the way it used to, and leaning on it without backup can lead to small mistakes that turn into big problems. Missing a lunch date is one thing. Forgetting whether you've already taken your medications is something completely different, and it's more common than people like to admit. You might take a dose twice by accident, or skip it altogether assuming you already did. That tiny moment of doubt can turn into serious health complications, especially when it involves blood pressure pills, diabetes meds, or painkillers. But let's be clear, writing things down isn't a sign you're slipping. It's a sign you're being smart. It's a way to safeguard your well-being and ease your daily mental load. Let me tell you about Bill. He's 73 and always took pride in his sharp memory. He managed the family finances, remembered every important date, and never relied on calendars. But after forgetting a specialist appointment and missing his morning meds twice in a week, he knew something had shifted. At first, he felt ashamed, like he was admitting defeat. But after starting a simple notebook and using phone alarms, he discovered he wasn't just more organized, he was less anxious. He said it felt like he'd finally put down a heavy weight he didn't realize he'd been carrying. Our brains are doing far more than we give them credit for, and with decades of knowledge and life behind you, it's completely normal for short-term memory to slow a little. That doesn't mean something's wrong. It just means your system needs a bit of help. Keeping notes, posting a calendar on the fridge, using a pill box, or setting a few digital reminders, these aren't signs of forgetfulness. They're smart ways to ensure you're staying on top of things without relying solely on memory. What often surprises people is how freeing it feels to get tasks out of their heads and into a visible system. It clears mental clutter, eases stress, and brings a greater sense of confidence. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop running the same to-do list in your head on repeat. Instead, you trust the tools you've set in place, and your mind can finally breathe a little easier. Number 6. Avoiding technology entirely. One of the most limiting habits many people over 70 fall into, often without noticing, is completely turning away from technology. Maybe it feels too complicated. Maybe you've tried before and felt overwhelmed. Or maybe you've told yourself it's just not for you. You might say things like, "I don't need all that," or I'm too old to learn, or I've gotten along just fine without it. While those thoughts might bring comfort in the moment, they quietly create distance between you and tools that could genuinely improve your life, making things simpler, safer, and more connected. Technology doesn't have to mean diving into social media or buying every new device on the market. It can be as simple as learning how to send a message, use a voice assistant to create a reminder, or access your health records online. These tools aren't just fads, they're lifelines. They help you manage your prescriptions, stay connected with family, get assistance in emergencies, and find information in seconds. By choosing not to engage with technology at all, you're not relieving pressure. You may actually be increasing your dependence on others. Take Louise, for example. She's 79 and used to call her daughter every time she needed to check her appointments or refill a prescription. Her daughter was always there to help, but over time, Louise began to feel increasingly dependent. One day, her grandson introduced her to the calendar and reminder apps on her phone and showed her how to manage her prescription refills online. It wasn't easy at first. There were mistakes, lots of questions, and moments of uncertainty. But after a few weeks, she was managing tasks on her own that used to take several phone calls. And with that came a feeling she hadn't experienced in a long time: confidence. That's what this really comes down to. Not becoming a tech wizard, but regaining a sense of independence. Small victories with technology build quickly. Checking the weather, reading a message, getting a medical alert, or joining an online class. Each step reinforces your ability to adapt, grow, and stay connected. You don't need to master every app or device. All you need is a little curiosity and someone patient to guide you. And if you've ever felt embarrassed or discouraged because you didn't understand how something worked, let that go. Everyone starts from square one. Nobody expects you to know it all right away. What matters most is that you're open to learning. Technology isn't the enemy of aging. It's one of your most powerful allies. The more willing you are to engage with it, the more opportunities you create for a simpler, more connected life. If you're still with us and found this insight helpful, type number 6 in the comments to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Your support allows us to keep producing content that's truly useful and uplifting. Now, let's move into our final thoughts. Final thoughts: reflect and move forward. As we bring this video to a close, take a quiet moment to reflect. Which of these habits spoke to you the most? Which one caught you by surprise? After 70, the rules change, yet no one hands you a new manual. That's why it's so easy to slip into familiar routines, ones that may feel safe, but can gradually chip away at your health, independence, and peace of mind. Here's the truth: it's never too late to make a shift. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. Just recognizing these 6 common pitfalls and choosing to take even one small step away from them can lead to more clarity, better energy, and a renewed sense of confidence. Whether that means adding a bit more movement to your day, adjusting your meals to better suit your current needs, or finally learning how to use that phone sitting on your desk, you're not behind. You're learning how to move forward with intention. Aging isn't about stepping back. It's about stepping forward, using the wisdom you've earned to create a life that feels lighter, more secure, and deeply fulfilling. These habits may seem small, but every positive choice you make is a reminder that you still matter. Your time still holds value, and many of your best moments may still lie ahead. Thank you for spending this time with us. We'd love to hear from you. Share in the comments one takeaway from today's video and how you plan to apply it in your life. Your voice truly matters, and reading your thoughts brings us so much joy. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit. Your support means everything and helps us continue creating content that encourages and empowers. Thanks again for watching. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.